Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is June 23rd, 2021. This is episode 341. Vinyl is today's review. This is a brand new comic coming out from Image. This is issue number 1. And this is one creep fest. The best way to put it. I am going to recommend it for now because I'm not sure what direction it's going to take. In the past, I know there was one called A Walk Through Hell by, I believe it was Garth Ennis. And that one, the first issue was really good and really creepy. And that's the same thing along this lines. However, the issues after that first Walk Through Hell were not as good. But I'm hoping that this may hold up. And let's take a quick look at this cover. It's actually a spread that goes around to the back, and then inside they do the same thing without color in it. So you get a look at the main characters that we see in the story here. This is Walter. He's one strange fellow. Apparently, he may be a mass murderer, but there's also signs that perhaps there's something else supernatural going on with him, or perhaps he's the part of a larger cult. And this is Madeline, and she seems to run a cult in a sunflower farm, and we'll take a quicker look at her. This is the FBI agent that is investigating Walter, and these are some of the people that are at Madeline's farm, and this is this FBI's agent. He's actually retired. He's coming back to help on the case because he's been trying to nail Walter for a while. And this is Vic Ruiz. Well, not Walter. I can't think of this guy's name is, but she's the supervisor for him on this FBI case. So let's take a quick look at this. Oh, and this girl here is the FBI agent's daughter, estranged daughter. All right. So pretty good cover there. Vinyl, obviously it has something to do with vinyl records. Real quick, the writer on this was Doug Wagner. The artist is Daniel Hilliard. The colorist is Dave Stewart. The letterer is Ed Dukeshire. The editor is Kevin Gardner. And the designer is Sasha E. Head. And I'm giving her some kudos on this because I think this was a pretty nice package for this comic. All right, we get these images right off the bat, the start of this. This is 2 days from now. And just kind of bloody hands, grotesque mouth, dragging axe edge, and some kind of, it's hard to see what that is exactly, but it's a mask. Turn the page and we get the main characters here, Walter and the FBI agent. And then we have this grotesque lady holding this axe. Walter's actually been wounded already. He's sitting in this chair bleeding out. He's holding like a stuffed animal over his gut. And even though things look really, really bad for him, it's Walter that's saying, "I'm scared." Now, he's the one that everybody suspects is some kind of murderer. And this is screeching going on through some kind of speaker. They're not quite sure where that's coming from. And just as this weird-looking corpsey lady is about to drive an axe into the FBI agent, he's begging for us, going to just get it over with. I'm bleeding out here. Just kill me. Walter has donned this teddy bear mask and has stopped the axe from falling on the FBI agent. As he says, "I do love the sound of vinyl." So he's some kind of music aficionado. He's got an iPod that he's usually wearing and listening to. And then we go back a couple of days, or excuse me, today. Those were 2 days in the future. Now we're back at today. And we've got the FBI agent here. His name's Dennis. And he's on a stakeout, basically. He's trying to catch some clues about Walter. He's set this up. He's been talking to him for a year. And Walter's going to join him for lunch. And Walter comes up, stumbling up, kind of gives him a coffee, tries to make friend, but Dennis is just about had. He's just like, come on, just tell me what's going on. And he gives this record to Walter, and it's a recording that was being played at a murder 2 weeks earlier, playing over and over again. I'm not quite sure. They don't really go into detail why Walter would be interested in this and how this would be connecting him to any murder at this point. Which keeps this whole thing going pretty good. It's a lot of mystery, a lot of questions, and it is grotesque. And then we go back to 2 weeks ago where this record was being played, and these body parts or skin or something is hitting this record player as that song plays. And that's that screech you hear there. Okay. So right now Dennis has got a bug in his ear, and he's talking to Victoria Ruiz about, she's actually giving him a hint saying, calm down, we want to nail Walter on this. And Walter's being pretty open about everything, but he's not telling him anything. He's not giving him any new clues. And as you can see, he's suddenly looks worried, and Dennis thinks it's because of his questioning, but it's not. It's because suddenly there's these people that have crept up behind Dennis, and it's Madeline, her son, and one of these weird masked people. So Dennis turns around and says, oh no, apparently he knows who Madeline is. He says, hello, Dennis. She knows who he is. So they start to talk, and she mentions that she knows that Dennis put her son away in prison and believes that it was wrongfully put in there. Before Dennis can really argue, though, she mentions that he's going to get married, and the person he's going to marry is Dennis's daughter, who has joined this cult, Madeline's cult of sunflower worshipers. So he instead decides to and Madeline tells him, well, it's really you we're after, not her. So Dennis says, well, if I go with you willingly, will you let my daughter go? And she agrees to it. Madeline agrees to it, which freaks the FBI stakeout unit out. They go, what the heck's going on? Then we speed forward a little to this. I'm not sure when this has taken place because they didn't really name it, but this is the Bellini family sunflower farm owned by Madeline Bellini. And we have Walter riding up on a bike, and there's some kind of ceremony going out front with those sunflower children again. And he approaches Madeline, and she just pretty much just tells him to leave. But before he goes, she does ask one question. She says, do you all sleep in that house? And she doesn't really answer that, but he leaves a package in her mailbox and then rides off and says, new friends it is, because apparently Madeline's no longer his friend. And as he says, new friends it is, I'm guessing he's sending out these messages to different people, one in the fashion district who appears to be making some kind of costume, one to Pennsylvania, where there's these grotesque, looks like movie props perhaps, maybe not, maybe they actually have actual blood on them, and then one to the Power and Light district in Missouri. Now, in Kansas City, Missouri, the FBI agent is trying to get Dennis back. She's talking to the people on the phone, her people on the phone. They're not going to let her go through. She's frustrated. She goes to splash her face, and the door swings open, and we see someone in the stall here wearing one of those teddy bear masks. So she may be the next one to get kidnapped or killed. It's hard to tell at this point. So we go back to the Bellini family sunflower farm. It is at night, and they have some intruders coming in. So she tells them to shut down the farmhouse. And as they're shutting them down, you see the bear bunny mask guy creeping up, and this guy's yelling, "Hurry up, close it up!" suddenly this guy's dead, and they're watching this on the surveillance, and I guess they're not seeing him because they're shooting into the dark. They're saying, "Where are they?" Just keep firing, and then this guy's arm gets chopped off, and then so there's only one left, and apparently he still doesn't see the guy in the bear mask, and he goes ahead and is able to gut him in a very grotesque manner. And he stands in front of the surveillance counter, pulls away the mask, and it's Walter. And this is where we end, to be continued. So what's kind of nice about this is they give you a little bit of bonus interior pages for the next issues. You can kind of take a look to see what's going on. I think it's going to be pretty good. You got this weird and wild page, and maybe this is the cover for the next page. So I'm not sure who these people are, if that's Walter, a young Walter, or what. But maybe they're doing movie magic. Who knows? But nice package put together, and then they use that same theme throughout to advertise a couple more books. Here's another book by Doug Wagner, the one that wrote Vinyl. He also did one called Plastic. I don't know if this is some kind of combination, but this is the trade paperback coming out in August, I believe. And that'll be $16.99. And then we have The Ride, Burning Desire. I don't know who wrote this one, but it looks almost like Heather Antos, when she was working at Valiant there. But it also looks like another chop 'em up type movie or book. So we'll have to see what those are all about. And here's that reverse cover I was telling you about without the color on it. So you got this page. Interesting package. I like the way they did this. He's wearing some kind of badge there. The 16 gauge. So we'll have to wait and see on this one. I am giving it a recommend because I did think it was well written. There are a lot of questions. You do have to go back and check pages to see exactly who was who, which is fine. I thought it was intriguing enough to carry on, though, and talk about the horror of just the whole thing, because you have no idea what's going to happen next, and it's very immersive. So this is a recommend for now. It does get the Indie Comics Jones Good Excavating Seal of Approval, given out only by Indie Comics Jones on this particular channel. So thanks for stopping by and watching my review of Vinyl. As always, please like, please subscribe, please leave comments. Got more reviews to go this week. I think I got Spawn Universe and another Lady Baltimore and a few others. So we'll be taking a look at those later this week. As always, this is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes, bidding you adieu.